As modern humans, we often feel confident in our understanding of the human body, thanks to centuries of scientific advancements. Yet there are times when even the most seasoned medical professionals are left baffled by mysterious cases that defy explanation. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to History is Confusing and drop a comment below with other medical mysteries you'd like us to explore. One such case is the eerie and still unsolved story of Gloria Ramirez, often referred to as the Toxic Lady. Her case not only shocked those present at the scene, but also left scientists and medical experts puzzled. Ramirez's story is one of the strangest and most chilling medical mysteries of modern times, one that might make you reconsider what truly lies beneath even the most routine visit to the hospital. On the night of February 19, 1994, Gloria Ramirez, a 31-year-old mother of two, was rushed to Riverside General Hospital in Riverside, California. She was suffering from complications related to late-stage cervical cancer, a condition she had been battling for some time. By the time she arrived at the emergency room, her condition had become critical. She was disoriented, short of breath, and experiencing a rapid heart rate. Her blood pressure was dangerously low, and she was slipping in and out of consciousness. The medical staff quickly began to administer treatment in a desperate attempt to stabilize her. She was given sedatives like Valium, midazolam, and Ativan to calm her, and medications like lidocaine to help regulate her heart. They also provided oxygen through an ambu bag to assist her breathing. Despite their efforts, Ramirez's condition only worsened, and doctors made the decision to defibrillate her heart. But it was at this point that things took a bizarre turn, and the routine emergency care of a cancer patient spiraled into a surreal nightmare. As the medical staff worked to save Ramirez, they began to notice strange and disturbing symptoms. When a nurse drew blood from her arm for routine tests, a powerful and unusual odor filled the room, a smell that was described as resembling ammonia. Almost immediately, the nurse who drew the blood complained of feeling lightheaded and nauseous. Within moments, she collapsed. Soon after, other members of the ER team began experiencing similar symptoms. A respiratory therapist fainted, while a medical resident became unsteady and complained of shortness of breath and muscle spasms. Eventually, 23 of the 37 medical staff present that night reported various symptoms ranging from dizziness and fainting to nausea and shortness of breath. The hospital declared an internal emergency, evacuating patients and limiting staff exposure to the toxic environment. But the medical team was at a loss for what could have caused such a rapid spread of illness. By the time the situation was somewhat contained, Ramirez had passed away. The official time of death was 8:50 p.m., just 45 minutes after her arrival in the ER. What made the case so disturbing wasn't just that a woman had died from advanced cervical cancer, but that her body seemed to have unleashed something toxic that caused severe illness among those who tried to help her. This phenomenon left Riverside General Hospital in a state of chaos and confusion. The toxic effects of Ramirez's blood and body fluids led investigators down multiple paths, but the case grew only more puzzling as time went on. Given the severity of the situation, the hospital's staff conducted a detailed autopsy on Ramirez under the strictest precautions. Pathologists wore full-body protective suits, akin to hazmat gear, and worked in sealed chambers to avoid exposure to any potential toxins. The autopsy was conducted meticulously, with blood, tissue, and air samples taken from her body for examination. But even after careful analysis, the initial findings were inconclusive. What could have caused this toxic reaction remained unknown. One of the earliest theories was that Ramirez's condition might have been linked to her use of dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO, a gel-like substance that was sometimes used as a home remedy for pain relief. DMSO was a controversial treatment often used by cancer patients to alleviate the pain associated with their illness. It is commonly found in industrial solvents and is known for its ability to penetrate the skin and enter the bloodstream. Though relatively harmless on its own, when DMSO is metabolized in the body, it converts to dimethyl sulfone, DMSO2. Some researchers believe that, in Ramirez's case, the administration of oxygen by paramedics during her transport to the hospital may have triggered a chemical reaction, converting the dimethyl sulfone into the much more dangerous chemical dimethyl sulfate. Dimethyl sulfate is highly toxic, capable of causing severe respiratory damage, convulsions, and paralysis, as well as other symptoms resembling what the hospital staff experienced that night. However, This theory, while widely accepted by some, has its critics. Many organic chemists have pointed out that the chemical reactions required to convert DMSO to dimethyl sulfate would be highly unlikely to occur within the human body, especially under the conditions described. Additionally, the rapid onset of symptoms among the medical staff does not align with known cases of dimethyl sulfate poisoning, which typically take longer to manifest. Beyond the DMSO hypothesis, there have been several alternative theories proposed over the years. Some believe that Ramirez's body may have been contaminated with a toxic substance before her arrival at the hospital, possibly from self-administered medication or unorthodox cancer treatments. Others speculate that the hospital staff may have been exposed to a more mundane chemical compound, such as phosgene or hydrogen sulfide, which could have caused the symptoms they experienced. Yet another theory points to mass hysteria. Some medical experts have suggested that the unusual conditions in the ER that night, a critically ill patient, an unfamiliar odor, and a stressed medical team, could have triggered a psychological response. In this scenario, the initial symptoms experienced by the nurse may have set off a chain reaction, where other staff members became ill simply because they believed they were being exposed to a toxin. In the wake of Ramirez's death, the hospital became the center of a media storm, with news outlets across the country reporting on the toxic lady and the strange case that had left an entire emergency room staff incapacitated. Gloria Ramirez's family, however, was less interested in the sensationalism and more focused on finding answers. They were critical of the hospital's handling of her case and demanded a more thorough investigation, suspecting that medical malpractice or mishandling of her body may have contributed to the toxic exposure. Unfortunately, the mystery of what truly happened to Gloria Ramirez may never be solved. Despite multiple investigations, including one by the California Department of Health and Human Services, no definitive conclusion has been reached. In the years since her death, scientists and doctors have continued to debate the possible causes of the toxic reaction, but without new evidence, the case remains unsolved. Gloria Ramirez's story has become a staple in discussions of medical anomalies, not only because of the bizarre circumstances surrounding her death, but also because it highlights how much remains unknown about the human body. Her case serves as a reminder that even with all of our medical advancements, there are still mysteries that defy explanation. To this day, the case of Gloria Ramirez continues to captivate the public's imagination, and it stands as one of the most perplexing and chilling medical mysteries in recent history. Whether the cause was chemical, psychological, or something else entirely, one thing is certain. The events of that February night left a lasting impact on everyone involved, and Gloria Ramirez will forever be remembered as the toxic lady. So what do you think? Will science one day unlock the secrets of Gloria Ramirez's case? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to History is Confusing for more stories like this one.